All right, guys, welcome back to second session. We're wrapping up this paper. Hopefully, we can finish by 2:30 or 3 o'clock. Not gonna rush it, but hopefully, we can finish by then. We have probably about 5 more questions left. I know that one question we won't be able to do it because we haven't taught that topic yet, so I don't want the class to be a showboat class. So we're gonna leave off the vectors and the matrices until until I start teaching that topic. We'll attack those questions. All right, but let us see what we can do. All right, so guys, the recording for session 1 will be available at 5 o'clock this evening. But you have to send me a message for me to send you that private link. All right, yeah, because it's not public. So want to send me a message requesting the recording, then I can send it to you. All right. So 5 o'clock this evening will be available. All right.
I'm going in as and that me never want.
Within that box.
Oops.
I'm sorry, Miss Hyman. I think your microphone is unmuted. All right. All right, back. So everybody's good to go. We were at this question here. All right, so question 5, picking up from here, we are now at the topic of statistics. This is usually the last topic I teach in the syllabus, but it's not as hard as matrices and vectors. So that's why I'm doing it. All right, so here we go. Each of 75 girls record the name of their favorite sport. Each of 75 girls recorded the name of their favorite sport. The number of girls who chose track and cricket are shown on the bar chart below. Let us observe the bar chart. So we can see that from this graph here, 12 persons selected track. So how you know that? 12 persons selected track because the track bar stops right here. That's 12. And then we can see that this here, right between here says 18. So between 16 and 18, you would find 17. 17 persons selected cricket. So 12 persons selected track and 17 persons selected cricket. All right, cool. Nobody selected the other sports. And it says 75 girls, no so? 75 girls in total, but on the bar chart, the only thing that they're showing is the amount of person that selected track and cricket. Question says, how many more girls chose cricket than track? What's the difference between cricket and track? Should be a straightforward question. Should be anything too difficult. So this is just going to simply be 17 minus 12. That's 5. All right? Straightforward. Nothing too crazy there. As long as you know how to interpret and read a chart, you should be okay. So that's one more. All right? I hope you guys see I got the 17. Remember that this is 16 and this is 20. So the line that goes between is 18. But this bar is actually in between the middle one and this one right here. So by logical reasoning, that has to be 17. So hope that don't confuse anybody too much. All right, moving on. Now, it says 11 girls recorded tennis as their favorite sport. For the remaining girls, so 11 chose tennis. For the remaining girls, the number who chose swimming compared to the number who chose football was in the ratio 2-3. Use information to complete the bar chart above. All right, so let's put on the 11. So 11 chose tennis. So 11, so we know that this is 10, so hold on. This is 10 right here, so right? So 11, So we'll draw one bar up from tennis, so all the way up to 11. Both some of this, so draw one bar all the way up to here, so to about 11. Both this, so and draw the bar like that. So some of this, right? Not exact, should be a little bit lower. This is the bar for tennis. So that's what you would do in case. All right, so that's 11. Hopefully everybody understand that. I don't hear anybody asking any questions, so assuming that you guys are okay. So that's the bar for 11. And then them say now the remaining girls who chose swimming and football, the remaining girls was in the ratio 2 to 3. So let's do some math now, right? To complete this bar chart, we will first have to find how much girls is left. So we know that there are 75 girls in total, right? And already we know that 17 chose cricket. So we're going to put 17 here. So we're trying to find the amount of girls that's left. So 17 chose cricket plus 12 chose track. And then we just realized they just told us that 11 chose tennis. So the amount of girls that's left is going to be 75 minus 17 and 12. That sounds like 29. 29 and 10. That's 39. 31 and 9 and 1 is 40. So therefore we are told that we basically know that 35 girls are left. Right? So this is the reasoning that we discussed in session 1. The math that you're doing here, you can see it's not it's just mostly adding and subtracting numbers, but it's the reasoning and the comprehension of the question that's beating a lot of you. So the ratio now, them say the total here is in the ratio 2 to 3. Now, if you've been in my ratio class sometime last year, one of the steps to solving any ratio question is to ensure that you find what is called the TP, the total proportion. The total proportion is going to be 2 plus 3, and that's equal to 5. So basically, we know that the total of 35 girls that are left was split up into 5 parts. So we just know that we're going to find one part. So one part is going to be equal to 35 divided by 5. So you get the 5, add the 23. Do you always add the 23? Yes, to find the total proportion. And why we're dividing it by 35? Because that is the amount of girls that's left. We already know, say 17 the track, cricket, part B, 12 the track, and they told us right here that 11 girls play tennis. So adding those and taking it from 25 give us the remaining girls that was split up in the ratio 2 to 3. So that means that one part is 7. Therefore, we can use that 7 now and calculate how much girls did swimming and how much did football. Because the ratio here, look carefully, the ratio says what? The ratio is from what? The ratio is from swimming compared to football. So swimming has to be 2 and football has to be 3. So therefore, for swimming has to be 2 times 7. Because swimming is 2 portions and 1 portion is 7. So swimming is 14. And then the football now, football is actually going to be 3. So that's 3 times 7. 3 times 7. And that's equal to 21. So now we know that 14 does swimming and 21 does football. Let's go on our chart. 14 does swimming. So 14, where's 14? 14 has to be exactly between 12 and 16. I'm going to draw one line up from swimming like that. All the way up to 14. Don't like how that look. And zoom it up a little bit more. This is that right here. And then we just go across like that. And then that is going to be 14. And then 21 now is football. So 21, they all the way up. So 20 and 24 is a 22. Right here, so 22. So 21 has to be right here. So should be a little bit lower. Should be in between the box still, but you get the idea. Right, that's one. And come down so like that. All right, and then we just shade up this and finish our bar chart. Right, and that is it. Oh, I didn't shade this one. Oh my gosh. That's our bar chart, and that's it. So we've completed our bar chart, and that's our little calculation. All right, so you can see where the 3 marks comes in. The 3 marks comes in the reasoning. This is the reasoning part that we are having our students struggling with. Okay. All right, any questions? Any queries? Any clarity needed? Nobody Gucci?
Yes, sir.
All right, smooth. All right, next question says, one of the girls is selected at random. And what is the probability that she chooses neither track nor cricket as her favorite sport? So yesterday the students would have been exposed to probability for the first time. So probability in statistics is equal to the number of favorable outcomes. So number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of possible outcomes. So those who were here yesterday would have seen this formula. Possible outcomes. So number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of possible. Now, we are trying to find out what's the probability that somebody chose not random may not choose track and field or cricket. First of all, we have to find out how much persons did not choose track or cricket as their favorite sport. So go back on the chart. How much person did not choose track? Sorry, how much person, right. So how much persons can we safely say did not choose track or cricket? We know so them people here choose track and cricket. So we need to count up the bars for this year. So for this one is what, 14? That's so? And this one is what, 11? And this one is what, 21? So add 14 and 11 and 21. So the top part of this is going to be 14 plus 11 plus 21. And the total possible outcomes was 75. So the key word here is, notice that every word here is in lowercase except nor and neither. So neither meaning say you must add up the amount of person that did not choose track or cricket. So we want to know how many persons didn't choose those sports. We know from the chart and based on information that 12 chose track and 17 chose cricket. That means that the rest of the girls them will never choose them 2 sport, they chose another sport. So what's the probability of that happening? The probability is going to be 14 plus 11. That is 25. 25 plus 20. That's 45, 46. So the probability is 46 over 75. And I think somebody asked me, should it be in decimal or in fractions? In this case, just give it a decimal number. That's fine. So 46 over 75 must be a decimal value.
Zero point six
0.61.
13.
0.613. All right. So basically, what this means, guys, is that there's a 61% chance. There's a 61% chance. Because they will ask, instead of asking them for probability, they will say, what is the percentage that someone did not choose track or cricket? Percentage and probability, it's more or less the same. Probability is the decimal version, percentage is the, 61% chance. So if there's 75 girls that is in the lineup, and you pick somebody at random and say, hey, you, come here. Did you choose track or field or cricket? Sorry, did you not choose track and field or cricket? The probability lies where that person, 61% chance lies where that person will say, no, they did not choose track or cricket as their favorite sport. All right? And that is it for that question. All right, so the last part says now the information on the favorite sports of the 75 girls is to be shown on a pie chart. You are to calculate the angle for football. They never see much draw the pie chart. Look how much marks it be. 2. So nobody go draw it, Nobody go draw no circle and try cut up nothing on them something they know. They never see you must draw it. The only thing them say is that you must calculate the angle for football. All right? Calculate the angle for football. Now, this is not difficult at all. And you'll see. All right? It's not difficult. Have a look. So we know that every pie chart has some sections like that. So we call them sectors, and each is an angle, right? Each of these things is an angle. So we need to calculate the angle for football. But in order for us to calculate the angle for football, we are going. So we're gonna write here sector angle. So we're gonna say sector angle. Zoom it up. So sector angle is equal to the number of girls for that sport. So number of girls of that sport divided by the total girls. So for that particular sport, if you want the angle for that sport, it's going to be the number of girls for that sport, which in this case is football, divided by the amount of girls and you times it by 360, because the angle we are talking about. So the maximum angle in a circle is 360. If we go back on our chart up here, football is 21. So we're going to simply put 21 here. That's the number of girls who play football over the total number of girls is 75, and times that, not by 100, because if it was percentage, that's 100, but it's a total angle, that's 360. I do the math for me, guys. What is 21 divided by 75 divided by 360?
100.8.
100.8. Confirm? Confirmation?
Yes, sir.
So approximately 101 degree when you round it out. All right. If you're at 100.8, that's fine, but 100. It's 101 degree. Lovely. All right. And that's it. That is question 5. I feel like out of the 9 marks, most of you should be able to get at least 6 out of the 9. The last one, maybe some of you might not have calculated it, and maybe even question D. So maybe I do something I get 1 mark, I don't know. But now we know, so in the future we're not gonna lose those marks. So I feel like out of the 9, you guys should have at least been able to get 5. All right, because the first part of yours is just the bar. So that wasn't really tough. Right? Unless you have no knowledge of the topic, then I can understand. But if me teach you, you will be okay. All right, moving on down. Any questions from that? I'm moving right along to question 6. All right, now it says in this question, you are to take pi to be 22/7 and the volume. So in this question, take pi to be 22/7 and the volume V of a cone with a radius and a radius R and a height H. And volume of the cone, in this case, this formula, see, so I tell us CXC give you the formula here right here. So sometimes they're very helpful to, they'll give you the formula. So them say the volume of the cone is that formula right there, 1/3 times pi times R squared times H, right? And you have to ensure that you use pi as 22/7. So the question says, the diagram below shows a sector. So that thing is a sector. Remember I told you that a sector looks like a slice of pizza. So the diagram below shows a sector OMRN. O is the center, M is a point on the circumference, R is a point on the circumference, N is a point on the circumference of a circle with center O. With center O. Radius is 12. You can see the 12 right here. And the angle of the sector is 168. You can see that angle right there, which was formed using a thin sheet of metal. All right? So a thin sheet of metal. First thing says that we should calculate the perimeter of the sector above made from the thin sheet of metal. So you must calculate the distance around the edge of this particular shape here. Calculate the perimeter of this shape. So we know that perimeter is the distance around the edge of the shape. So we know this curved part around here, so plus that. So those three things need to be calculated. All right. Now we know that the only thing that really needs to be calculated here is actually this. Because if this is 12, that means this has to be 12 as well. Because a sector is a part of a circumference of a circle. So basically, the radius here would be from O to N, that would be the radius, and from O to M would be another radius. So this also would be what? 12. So the only thing we need to do now is to calculate what? This curved section around here. Now, a student being unable to calculate this obviously means that the student doesn't know what that thing is called. And this thing is called an arc. All right, this is something that we would have taught sometime in November of last year. So we spoke about arc. So this thing right here is called an arc. All right. And as I said, sometimes the formula given to you by CXC are not very helpful. So not saying that they're not completely helpful, but there are other formulas that I truly believe that them can help you with. But that's just my opinion. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to scroll all the way back up here. Give me a sec. Because I don't want to just tell you the formula. I want you to be able to remember that when you see this thing, you can go find it for yourself as well. Look at that. See that? Right there, so arc length. And there's the formula right there. So when CXC give you a formula, and you'll be like, most of them formula, they're there. Some of them are there, So see it here, arc length. Here's the formula right here. So the formula for arc length is the angle given divided by what? 360 times 2 times pi times r. All right? So there's a formula right there. That's helpful. So we're going to leave these. So far, the only thing that is on, for this particular paper, the only thing that, the only formula on the paper that we needed this thing to do so far is what I have here in blue. We don't find out about prism or right pyramid or circumference or area of circle. The only thing that we look here is so far is the arc length. So far only one formula on the paper is useful to us here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that. So the sector angle is, give me a sec. The sector angle is theta over 360. Come on. The theta angle is, so the sector, the length of the arc is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. All right. And we can clearly see that the angle is 168 divided by 360 multiplied by 2. They specifically told us to use pi as something. They told us to use pi as what? 22 over 7. So nobody go use 3.14. Them tell you what to use, so you use it, and the radius here is 12. All right. You can type all of that into your calculator all at once. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Right, so go ahead and tell me what that is. 168 divided by, we don't need to work out piece. Just go ahead and type everything on the calculator all at once. Because how much marks is it worth? 3. So this that we're doing right now is worth 2. So 168 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times r. Any answers? Guys, talk to me now. Nobody don't have the answers. Remember, say, are you a class, you know? I already know how to.
35.2.
Anybody can confirm that? 168 divided by 360 times 2 times 22 over 7 times, just do the whole top. So 168 divided by 360 times 2.
35.2.
35.2, right? So this will be the length of this curved section around here. Not true. But them say them want the perimeter. So we then need to say 35.2 plus 12 plus 12. That's how we get the extra 1 mark. So go ahead now. That's 24 plus 35.2. So that sounds like 59.2. Confirm it, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that is it. All right. Cool. Any questions with that? So just make a note of that. Make a note of what is an arc. Make a note of where that formula is located, because you're going to more than likely see this again in another version. All right, moving right along. No questions. I'm going to go ahead. Now, it says here, no question. Silence, no, guys, means set no good enough. So move me and move on. So if you don't understand something, you should say stop me and ask and verify. A cone is made from the sector by joining OM to ON. So it's kind of difficult to demonstrate this to you right? I would have to be in front of a camera to demonstrate this to you. But basically what them do is let me just kind of clean this up a little bit. So basically what them do, right, is them take this side here and them merge it to that side, make it become one, right? And when they merge it together, it basically form the shape right here. So you notice that MN come together and join and form that one shape there, right? So this becomes a cone, right? So basically then, this length right here, so what you see right here, so that is the 212 that you're seeing there. So this is 12 right here. Because if you notice that, look at it. If you look at it now, remember say from up here, so now we were told that O to M is 12 and O to N is 12. So basically, this length right here, so has to be equal to 12. Want to understand the whole idea of net. It's called net. It's the net of the figure. All right. So this is 12. This is 12 centimeters right here. Merge. 12 centimeters, right? Good. Now they said that you wanted to find the radius of the cone. Right. So we want to find this section right here. The radius. That's the section we want to find. So how we are going to find that? All right. Now, to find this, right? Remember, go back up here, so. Right? That's the radius of the cone. And this is what I'll go on here, so now. We weren't told anything about the volume, right? Were we told anything about the volume? We weren't told anything about the volume. So how we are going to find this now? So we know so this is 12. So let's see here. Calculate the radius of the cone. Am I missing something here? We weren't told anything about the area of the circle. We're given 90. We don't know the height. If I knew the height, then I could use Pythagoras theorem to find this. So maybe I'm missing something. Let's go back and read again. Maybe there's something that's missing. Oh yes, guess what happened? Oh my gosh. So we know that the perimeter of the cone. So look, no, we know this part here, so. Right? We know that part. Round here is what? 35.2, not true? So the question is, where is this part? When we put it together, where is this part of the cone? It is this part right around here that we know. So that's the only curved part. Notice that this curved part right here, so the only curved part that's right here is the part that is at the base. So basically then, this is where reasoning comes in again. Because you see how I was stuttering a while ago to figure it out? Because I had to look at what I have. You see, the thing is that this shape that you're looking at here is a right angle triangle. And we're looking for the radius, which is the R. So we're looking for a side that is on a right angle triangle. But we can't use no formula to find anything because we only have what? One side. So I had to go back up and look now and say, what is it that I have? I need something else. So what I have here is the what? I have the circumference around here. So I know right away that, let me see here. I know that that's going to come into play somehow. How much marks is it worth, by the way? It is worth 2, so it's not a lot of work. So maybe I misinterpret something, but I know that this thing up here, it has something to do with it. Let us think. All right, let us think. So I know that circumference of a circle is equal to what? 2 pi r, not true? Can anybody confirm that? Because since as we have the distance around right here, so look on it. of the distance around here. So we have to think
Yes, sir.
So we can confirm that circumference is 2 pi r, right? And
Yes.
we calculated the circumference to be 35.2. Sir, why you don't use the 59.2? Because the 59.2 is involving the two radius right here. So sorry, this is the radius of the sector, but when you put them together, it becomes this thing right here. So it's this long side here. So that's not the radius anymore. So now we know that we have the circumference. We can't use this 59.2 because that involves these two sides. You have to use the curve section around here because this curve section around here, when you put it together, I hit the base, so you see down here. So that's what makes the base down here. So by using that information now, right? And this is just
But
reasoning.
sir,
Yeah.
it seems as if the two parts, the half up there, so make the hole down the bottom.
Yeah. That's correct.
So
So the circumference then is what, 35.2? That's the circumference. That is this part around here. The curve part that we have at the top. At the top up here, this curve section that we were looking for, this curve section what we call the arc, that's what makes the circumference down here. So, right, so that is 35.2. That is therefore equal to 2. They say that we should use pi as 22/7. And then we can use this formula now to find r. All right. Now, I don't know if you want to multiply everything by 7 or do you just want to work it out piece by piece. I think that for easy calculations, let me just get some space here. So C is equal to 2 times pi times r. 35.2 is equal to 2 times the pi is 22/7 times the r, because we don't know what r is, right? The radius of the cone is not the same thing as the radius of the sector, right? Yeah, it can't be the same thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just take my time. I'm going to go 35.2. I'm going to get 44/7. I really don't want to use any decimals, so I'm avoiding that. So you get 44. 2 times 22 at the top, guys, this here. 2 times 22, 44/7 times r. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. So I'm going to get, I'll just get a reading here. So I'm going to, remember we said that once we have a number at the bottom of the equation, multiply both sides by that 7. So I'm going to multiply over here by 7. I'm going to multiply over here by 7 as well, right? That is the rule of solving an equation. This 7 I will cancel this 7. So I'm going to simply end up then with, what is 7 times 35.2? Someone? Anyone? What is 7 multiplied by 35.2?
246.4.
246.4.
4.
All right. And then that now is going to be equal to, the 2 7 cancel, so you end up with 44 times r. And the only way to get r by itself now is to divide the 246.4 by 44. That's the only way you can get r by itself, by dividing by 44. So go ahead now and do that for me.
It's 5.6.
So the answer then is that r is equal to 5.6. 5.6. All right. Clarity. Everybody good to go? Even if you never know how to do it before you see it, don't worry about if you could or couldn't have done it. You're learning how to do it now. So over time, you're gonna build up on your experience, you're gonna build up on your knowledge. You're gonna learn how to do this with time. With time, you're going to learn how to do this. All right. Any clarity, any questions, anything from anybody? Asami, I teach good? My God.
Sir, I get the 46 divided by 44.
Because
The carry over 44.
well, not carry over, we just divide both sides by 44. Since the 44 is multiplying the r, we just divide by 44.
Oh,
If it was 44 plus r, then you could say carry over, and then you'd end up subtracting instead. All right. All right, and I'll go to then. So, all right, cool. Now the next question says that we should find the height of the cone. So watch now. Now that we have r, right? Let's zoom up. Now that we have r, okay. So we're gonna use Pythagoras theorem twice in the same exam paper. So now that we have r to be equal to 5.6, so r is now 5.6. Notice that a right angle triangle come again. And I told you earlier that, remember, right angle triangle, Pythagoras theorem works with right angle triangle. Wherever the right angle triangle is, Pythagoras theorem is going to say similar. So now we want h now. It's very easy to find h. Because see the 2 marks again? C squared, as my online students are used to, 8 squared is equal to O squared plus A squared. I'm going to use phone formula now. Last time I used the C squared. So balance the equation now. So remember, the hypotenuse now, is always the side that is in front of the 90 degree. So that's going to be what? 12 squared. Bad handwriting. So 8 squared, all right, so that's 12 squared is equal to, just find the radius, which is one of the sides. So 5.6 squared plus, we're looking for the h now. All right, this h, right, so that h here. Not this h, no, this h is just hypotenuse length. So that's 8 squared. So don't get it confused. You can call it x if you want. It's up to you. All right, so that's 144. And that's equal to, what is 5.6 squared? Somebody, anybody?
$31.36.
31.36?
Yes.
Plus 8 squared. All right, carry this over here now. We're going to get 144 minus 31.36. And that's going to be equal to 8 squared. All right, subtract those two. If you guys want to skip steps, you can skip steps, This is just because I'm teaching why I'm doing it like this.
112.64.
112.64. All right, that's 8 squared. Therefore, h equal to, h is going to be equal to the root of 112.64. What's my answer?
10.6.
10.6 flat? 6 what?
6.1.
10.61. 10.6 is fine. So 10.6 centimeters. So the height of this thing right here is 10.6. So the question, guys, is just an application question. No formulas here are not formulas.
10.5.
Huh? 10.5?
Yes, sir.
I mean, 10.5, 10.6.
10 can't go answer, but it's 0.5 one, so.
Okay, 5.5. All right, yeah, man. That now go change the price of rice. So 10.55, 10.56, 10.6, relatively within the range. So both will be accepted. All right. So you can see that we're going to need to work. We're going to need to work on our interpretation as time go by, right? As we get more exposed to these type of question, our critical thinking will develop over time. Okay. All right. And then no questions up there. Pythagoras theorem is clear why we use it. It's a right angle triangle. You can see the 90 degree.
Yes, sir. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. And then now we have to calculate the capacity of the cone in liters. All right. This will throw off a lot of students if you don't know what the word capacity means. The word capacity is a synonym for the word volume. All right. So we're going to go back all the way up here, and we're going to grab our volume formula that was given to us right here. Volume is equal to 1/3. So them give you the volume formula, them tell you about they don't mention nothing up here about capacity, you know. They only mention volume, but then them come down here so now with them foolishness. I come talk about capacity, thinking they can throw off my students them. Can't throw off nobody. Capacity is volume. It's just a synonym for volume. All right, so volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. And we have all of what we need. So the volume is equal to 1/3 multiplied by them. Say pi should be what? 22/7. Not true? 22/7. We just find r. What do we get r to be? 5.6. And we just get the h a while ago to be what? 10.6. All right. Go ahead and punch all of that on the calculator one time, just as how you see it. 1 divide 3 times 22 divide 7 times 5.6 times 10.6 one time.
$62.18.
62.18. Okay. Somebody can confirm that, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, wonderful, perfect, and that's it. And remember, say it's cubic centimeters. I think they'll take off half. Oh, hold on, wait. Them say liters. Oh Lord. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that is in cubic centimeters. How much mass is it worth, by the way? 3. I bet you 3 worth. Oh, 2. Okay, so we got the answer in cubic centimeters. Now to convert from cubic meters, watch now. 1,000 cubic centimeters is equivalent to 1 liter, right? So if we want to convert this thing here to liters, we have to divide it by 1,000. So we're going to divide this by 1,000. So if you divide this by 1,000, watch the red marker now. If you divide this by 1,000, the point is going to jump 3 places backwards. All right, 3 places backwards. So the answer is going to be 0.062 liters. All right, that's the answer I'm looking for. So if you do all of this and don't do that part here, you're only going to get 1 mark. Sad, but I say you go. And I don't think it's sad. I don't think it's sad because you did the hard work for that. And you did the hard work for that. So the only thing you're really doing is just multiplying 1/3 times this. So I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Yeah, man. It's worth 2 marks. All right. Lovely. All right. So that is question. And that's another 9 marks again. You can decide how much of that 9 you want. All right. So we're going to question 7 now. Now, question 7 is a pattern and sequencing question. Right. And again, this is not a topic that I teach particularly because pattern is just something that you observe. You look at the design and you see what pattern is following. Right. You'll hear a lot of students talk about this question 7. Right. Question 7 is a pattern and sequencing. So let's go. A sequence of design is made using black disc and white disc. The first 3 designs in the sequence are shown below. Let's observe the pattern now and see what we can see. How much white dots are in the... Everybody, your microphone can be open now. How many white dots can we see in the first design?
3.
So we can see 3 white dots. Black disc. Sorry, we can see 3 white disc and 3 black disc. The second design has what?
No, sir, it's 4. 4 black and 3
Oh,
white.
4 black. Oh, 3 white and 4 black. Thank you so much, Mr. Gentles. All right. And then we have what now? We have 7 white and 6
And
black.
6 black. Yes.
All right. So one little pattern there. We have to figure out what the pattern be. So notice that you always have. So notice that I look at this. Let me just use some colors and show you what I want. Because there's so many ways to view the pattern. Notice that we always have 1 white disc above 2 black disc. We always have another white disc, but the black disc is increasing by 1. Do you realize? So the first design has 2 black discs with a white disc. The second design has what? 3 black discs with a what? White disc. And the third design has what? 4 black discs with a what? So you always have 1 white disc above an increasing number of black discs. Catch that pattern? You can look at the pattern from this way now. At the bottom here, we have 3 black discs, then 4 black discs, then 5 black discs. And you can look at it from this point of view. Now you have 2 here, so then you have what? 6 there, so then you have what? 12 there, so. So there's so much ways you can look at the pattern. But let us see what they must say now. So in the what? In the space provided on the grid, you have to draw a design 4. So we're going to draw design 4 now. To draw design 4, remember, if you have any questions, guys, ask. Don't lie down there and stay by yourself. When you're watching the recordings, you can ask me no questions because the recordings are posted already. So if you're here and you're not fully clear, ask questions. Right? I know you guys are going to be depending on the recording, but whilst that is good, you have to be able to ask questions if you need clarity. All right? Good. Okay. So, all right. So now we need to create the second design. So notice that the first design had what? 1 white disc above what? 2, 1 white disc above 3, 1 white disc above 4. So chances are we're going to have 1 white disc above what?
5.
Above 5.
5 black, yes.
So 5 black. So we're going to have 1 black disc here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to have 1 white disc above here. So, all right. And then now we know, so this 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be what? 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. My screen is not 100%, you know, so if we just make do what we have. I don't know what happened to my marker, you know. Guys, I don't know what's going on. Okay. Decides it will work. All right. Give me a second, guys. I think my screen is freezing. No, my screen just decides. I'm not sure if it's my device that's hot or something. All right, so that's the disc. And the rest of this now gonna be what? White, not sure. So white here, so white here, so white disc, white disc, white disc. Fill them out, white disc. So that's the pattern you have to observe. All right, and then we're good to go. All right, everybody understand that design? Everybody clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on now. It says now, this information, it says the number of white disc, which is W, the number of black disc, which is represented by B, and the total number of disc T that forms the design follows a pattern. Cool, which we can figure out a piece of the pattern. The values of W, B, and T for the first 3 designs are shown in the table below. Your job is to study the pattern of numbers in the table. That's why I say no teachers. I at 15 years me I teach for. And I've never been to a class or seen anybody that comes to class and design this here, right? So it's a pattern. It's more, I don't even know what department this is. It lands in a department, but I'm not sure what it is. But I think it falls in the department of logic, right? Being able to see something happening and tailoring a pattern. Now, we know that in column 1, which is the column over here, this column right here is column, we know that we're looking at the different designs. Design 1, design 2, design 3. We skip out some stuff here, so, and then we got design 9. We don't know what comes here. We can't see a design 10. We don't know that. We don't know what design is here either. So you can't say this is 9 and then this is 10 and then this is 11. No, can't do that because we don't know exactly what's there, right? But we can use the pattern to figure it out. So look at the pattern that we're following now. Pay close attention to how we follow a pattern, right? Now notice here, look at the numbers I'm going to circle. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 9. What go you say?
9.
9.
9.
Very good. So that's the pattern, right? A pattern is consistent after 2 attempts now. So after it work with 2, chances are it work with 3, 4, 5, and 6, and infinitely many patterns, right? Now notice what happens here again now. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 9. What go you say?
9.
9.
9.
Again, and again. All right. Notice how come here so now. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. What go you say?
9.
And again.
9.
All right. Look here now. 1, 1, 1. What go right as?
1.
1. Not true. And then them here now are just the answer when you work it out. Catch it? So what is 9 times 9? 81. Not true? 81 plus 9. 90. 90 plus 1. 91. Catch it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Good.
sir. Yeah.
So notice now, what do you think goes right here? Following the pattern, what do you think goes there?
20.
20.
Correct. The pattern you follow. Right? Because every number where they write here, so I hit there, so. So if you're observing that 20 is here, then almost 20 of a day or so. Common sense, right? And obviously when you work out that, you get 421. Not true? All right, good. Let's go over here now. The question now is that we have to try to figure out what the relationship between this and this, right? What is the relationship between the black disk and the, or well, there's different ways to look at it. You can compare the black disk with the total, or you can compare the black disk with the white disk. So look at it now. Notice that 3 plus something give 4. Not true? 7 plus something give 6. Hold on, that wrong, man. Hold on, wait, that wrong. 3 plus something give 4, but 7 minus something give 6. So that not gonna work. Can't use a pattern there. That's not consistent. All right. Look at a different pattern now. 4 plus 7. 4 plus something give 7. What would that be?
3.
All right, 3. Go record that. We don't know what the pattern be yet. 6 plus what give you 13?
7.
7. All right, that's one pattern. So basically, and then let's do one more. 8 plus what give you 21?
13.
13. Not true. So to move from here to here, we go up by 4. And to move from here to here, we go up by 6. So that means that to move from here to here, we go up by 8. I don't like that pattern. That's too hard. This is a different pattern. Go try something else. Look at this. 3 plus 4 give you what?
7,
7 plus 6 give you what?
13,
13 plus 8 give you what?
21.
So what do you notice that they're doing? They're adding the white disk to the number of black disks to give the total amount of disk. Not true?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, whichever number supposed to there, so right? This number plus whatever number for the right, so would give me the 111. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, then we simply can just take 91 from 111 and we get the number that goes there. So what is 91 from 111? That sounds like 20.
20.
So like 20. So them questions are questions where you can take time and scrape up some 1 and 2 little marks somewhere one part and get a little closer to that grade 3. You see what I'm saying? Not preaching the grade 3 now. I want you guys to get grade 1, but the reality of the situation is some of us a long time we know the maths, and some of the maths are very, very new to some of us. So we have to just take what we can get and go through. So that's 20 right here. All right? Good. So therefore, they must say the 9th design would have 20 black disc and it would have 91 white disc. Not true. So the question now is what goes here and what goes here. Now so. But remember now, say we don't know what goes here. And we some of this missing. We are missing the disc from 9 all the way to 21. Not true. We're missing all of that, So how we are gonna figure this out now? Now remember, so we know that this number plus whatever this number be give us this number. That's one thing we know for sure, right? So let's figure this out. Anybody else can come up with a faster idea than me, because I've not seen this paper. I first can see this paper, So I'm working the paper with you. I'm thinking along like you. So let us see how we could figure this out. There's a relationship between the white disk and the black disk. We know that the number of white disk and the number of black disk, when added together gives the total number of disks. That's fine. So we need to find a relationship between the black disk and the white disk. What's the relationship between them? All right. Okay. I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking. We just have to find one relationship between them. If we can find a relationship between them, that would be good. All right, let me see now. 2 7s, 14. Okay, that's not going to work. 2 3s. Okay, so that's not going to work. If you guys see any more patterns, you can help me now. I'm going to go back up here and check. So I'm looking for a relationship between the black disk and the white disk. I'm looking to see if there's any consistency between them. So I'm checking everything I can check. I know that there is 4 black and 3 white. Not sure. And there is 6 black and what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white. I'll go back up here and check again, man. You guys see any pattern? Anybody
Sir,
pick up?
you could probably continue and create another design at the top in order to get 20 down at the because when you add the extra white one at the top, when you add the one at the top and the one at the side, you will get the amount of white one to go in the middle.
Yeah, but we don't know how much black disc the thing is that how many black disc. All right, so we know that there's 400.
Yes, sir, but if there is a pattern and it goes all the way up to what, design 4, you could add 5 and then you
go up to design 4. What do you mean design 4? We're at design 20 now. That's all. Let me just make follow you clearly now. We're at design 20. So we're trying to find out how much black disc would be there if there is what? Because for this one, there's one more black disc than white. Up here, so there is what? One less black disc than white. So one pattern did them on, but we have to try to figure it out. See, 2 times 4. See, 1 times 4 plus 3. Pattern did it, but we have to just find it. Let me see. If you so we jump out with it. Anybody else not see no other pattern and I can follow? Because see, this is the type of questions now that will take up some time. So if this happens to you, it's like what is happening to me now. If this happens to you in the exam, you pause and you go to our next question. Because guess what? Now look at it. It's 2 marks, you're going to take 20 minutes to try to get, or 5 marks. So for me, I wouldn't leave it enough because I would eventually figure it out. But in the exam, I have some more marks that I can get. So I wouldn't spend 10, 15 minutes trying to get this question. I would probably leave it and make my brain process while I go on first. So I need to find out how much black disc is in the 20th design. All right, can we see if we can find this? Hold on there. All right. The first design. All right, so can we see if we can compare this now? Let's see what going on. The first design has how many black discs? 4, not true? The second design has what? 6. The third design has what? 8. Guys, me find it. We find the pattern. And don't ask me how I do it, guys. It just pop up in my head. So I'm looking at the number of design. Look at this. If I multiply this number by 2, what do I get?
two.
And then I add 2, what I get?
4.
All right. It worked for that. Can we try it again? If I multiply this number now by 2, what I get?
4.
And if I add 2, what I get?
6.
It work again. Can we try it one more time? If I multiply this number by 2, what I get?
6.
And add 2, what I get?
8.
So what's the pattern? You just multiply
by 2 and add 2.
Multiply the design by 2 and add what?
Add 2.
Add 2. So sir, how me I gonna know if you figure that out? It's a pattern, you know. So you have to look for the relationship between the numbers.
So you go what? Times 20 times 2 and add 2 to it.
Times 20 by 2 and add 2 to it. So it's a pattern you really look for. I don't know how else to explain it. Because like I said, this is not something that I was taught personally. I just over time, as I begin to understand these types of questions, I'm saying to myself, oh, so that's what the teacher is trying to say. But it's a pattern that you have to try to figure out. See a relationship. Look at this relationship again that I found. If I multiply this thing by 7, if I multiply this thing by 6, what do I get? 6 and add 1, what do I get? 7. And if I multiply this thing by 6 again, what do I get? 12. And I add 1, what do I get? 13.
That's
And if you multiply this thing by 6 again, you get 18. So you say it don't work that way there. It don't work that way there. It worked for the first 2, but it don't work for the first 3. Because 6 3s are 18, and 18 plus 1 is not 21. So you see, you can't use it. So the pattern is more consistent between the design and the white disk. All right, so therefore, so we're saying now that we're going to just simply multiply. So we're going to multiply the 20 by 2 and add 2. So 20 times 2 is what? 40. And 40 plus 2 is what? 42. So we're good to go there. All right? I will check it out, that never take us more than 5 minutes, That never take us more than 5 minutes. If you just think about it, we never take that long. It took us a while to figure out what was going on, but we found it. All right, I remember we said this plus this gives this, now so. So that means that this plus this, so we just find, give us that. So this is going to be 463. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
463. All right. So this part down here, you know what the formula now. Basically, this is the formula for how you get any amount of this. So regardless of whatever this they want to put here, so the formula that we have over here is going to help us. So notice that what is here, now so. Work with me, guys. What is here is also here. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, this is n, then that means this is n. And you have to times it by n again, because I see a number. That's all. So it is n times n. So it is n. So it is n times n in a bracket, not true? Plus n again, plus 1. So it's n times n, because I see a number. N is 20, n is 20, n again at 20. So it's n times n plus 1. And then we're going to work out that now. So let us work out n times n. N times n is what? N squared. And then we know, so we can't add no more n to that, because that's n squared. So n times n squared plus n plus 1. That's the formula that they're looking for. So it's n squared plus n plus 1. That's the formula. And what did we say this formula was? How did we get the number 20 over here? What did we come up with? We say if we multiply this number over here by what? 2 and add 2, we get the answer. That's all. So this formula going to be what now? 2 times n plus 2. Everybody follow? Everybody Gucci?
Yes, sir.
And then now the total number of this now. We know, remember now we know, we said that it's this, not true? Plus this. That gives us this. Do we agree? Confirm?
Yes, sir.
So that
Yes,
means
sir.
naturally then it has to be this formula plus this formula that will give us the formula that goes here. Because whatever number is over here, I add to this a number here, figure this number over here. So therefore, any formula over here plus the formula over here gives us the formula over here. So let us add that together now. So we're going to have n squared plus n plus 1 plus 2n plus 2, and that will go simplify to give us the formula that goes right here. So n squared remains, right? And if you add n to 2n, you'll get what? 3n. And if you add 1 to 2, you'll get what? 3. So the formula that goes over here is n squared plus 3n plus 3. And that's the answer. Okay? So it took us a little time. Nothing too crazy, but guess what? Rest assured, so we get a good amount of marks to that. It's 10 marks it worked. That's all. So, would I get something? Would I get something?
slide back the screen down.
Yeah, would I get something? So, math is all about, you have to think. Right? If you want math to be something that you just look at and get right, then no math that some other subject, but no maths. Right? Maths requires a bit of logical, critical, assessment, analysis to get to your answer. All right. So that is it. All right. All right. Now it says Stephen has 28 black discs and 154 white discs and wants to make design 12. Explain why it's not possible for him to meet design 12. So you have to explain why. So he has what? 28 black and 154 white. So we now need to figure out why is it that it's not possible to meet design 12. Because, so to explain that, one market worked. So question is, remember saying, we have to find out how much this does it take to make design 12, right? So which letter represents the design? N, not true?
Yeah.
N, right? So let's grab this formula here. N squared plus what? N squared plus 3n plus 3. How much? This is going to tell us the amount of disk required. Not true? So let us see now. Him same have 28 black disk and he want to make design 12. Let us see if he has the amount of black disk to make design 12. Let us see. So what's the formula for black disk? Look at the diagram. Look at the table. What's the formula for the number of black disk?
N times N.
No, black disk. Black disk.
Oh, 2n plus 2.
2n plus 2. So 2n plus 2, let's check it. 2n plus 2. Which design him same want to make? Design 12. Design 12 him same want to make? Design
Yes,
12.
sir. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to put 12 versus 2 times 12 plus 2. 2 times 12 is what? 24 plus 2, 26. So what's the reason why him can't make design 12? Well, him can make design 12 because what? Him have 28 black disk. So him have more black disk than what is required. That could be a reason. Let's look at white disk. What's the formula for white disk? Look at the white disk column. What's the formula that we had at the bottom for white disk?
The N times N.
The n squared plus n plus 1. That's all.
Yeah.
So let's see. N squared plus n plus 1. So that's 12 squared plus 12 plus 1. 12 squared is 144 plus 12 plus 1. So 144 plus 12 is what? 156. That's all? No, 158. No, 156, man. No, help me, guys. Now, let me do the work by myself. So 144 plus 12, that's 156. And 156 plus 1 is 157. So what's our conclusion? So he has 154 white disk, right? And he has 28 black disk. Him have more than the amount of black disk required, but he has less than the amount of white disk required. So that's the reason why he cannot meet design 12. He has too much black disk, he has more than enough black disk, and he has less than the amount of white disk. That's the reasoning. Okay? So that's the reason the CXC look correct. So. All right, any questions on that? I think that question was fun, right? as opposed to saying that it's hard. I don't like persons use that word and say it hard. Once you have to figure out something, once you have to look at a problem and try to analyze it, then I think it's fun. That's just me. Other person will think otherwise though. A person really like stress on their brain, So this to them is just a torment to them life. But I think this is fun. The fact say we're doing it and we couldn't immediately get the answer. We had to really twist our brains and look and observe. I find that quite interesting. But all right, that's very opinionated. All right, any questions before I move on to question 8? All right, moving on then. All right, so for my well, this is the online marathon, so majority of the persons here would have most likely been online. A few face-to-face students are here, but I'm not quite sure how far I know that my day school, there's no day school students in here. I don't think so. But I know that my day school students reach this part. So for my online students, this is the topic that we're going to next. Remember, say in our last class, we did something like the quadratic curve like that, but you were only doing the sketch. So this was what we were supposed to do next, but we're not get there. So you're getting a little piece of premature teaching. All right. All right. So section 2 now is the functions. What's the topic? It says algebra, relations, functions, and graph. So earlier at question 4, when we did f of x, g of x, f of x, and that's the functions part. This is the graphical part of functions now. So they're saying here, ladies and gentlemen, you have to complete the table for the function y, which is equal to that something there, negative x squared plus x plus 7, right? Now, how do we complete this table? If this never come up, I would have already told you that CXC normally gives you this table, and out of this table, they normally fill up. If it's like 7 of them there, which you can see right now, it's 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Also, it's 8. It's 8 of them. So CXC normally fill out most of them for you. So right now, CXC fill out 4, and Y fill out 4. So the question then is, how do we fill out these, Mr. Beard? All right, so to fill this out, right, if you notice that in this row here contains all the x values. So in this row here contains all x values, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this column here contains all the y values or the f of x values, right? So if I want to know what goes underneath -3, all I'm going to do is just work out what is f of -3. All right, we're going to work out what is f of -3. So if I want to know what goes under -3, I'm going to put -3 into the function up here. So I'm going to have -3, remember, put it in a bracket, -3 squared, right, plus -3 plus 7. So -3 squared is going to give us +9. Make sure you put a bracket when you put in your calculator, you know? And then positive times negative is -3 plus 7. When you work this out, you're going to get 9 minus 3 is 6. And 6 plus 7 is 13. So 13 goes right here. All right. I don't know why I didn't get 2 marks. This I could have get 3 marks though. Stingy though. Very stingy. So we're going to work out f of -1 now. F of -1. All right. So anytime I want to find the y value, I put the x value into the function. So f of -1. So -1 squared. -1 squared plus 1 plus 7. When you square -1, you get +1. But I watch the calculator tell you, because if you type in -1 squared and don't put the bracket, the calculator is going to tell you -1. So when I cuss the calculator and say, I calculator tell you foolishness, so when you type in, it gives to you. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 7 is 8. So 8 goes right here. Next one is going to be F.
Sir,
Yes, question.
isn't it a -1 and -1 there? You have plus, should be.
Oh, you know, you're right though. Right, you're correct. It's supposed to be plus. Oh, me left off the negative. Thank you so much. So negative supposed to be right, that's all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gentles. So this is going to turn out to be. I know, so when I plot my graph, I realize. Yeah, man. So then this is going to work out to be 7. Thank you very much, Mr. Gentles. 7. Thank you. So we're going to have 1 squared now, plus 1 plus 7. This is the one we are going to be 8 now. So I would have recognized, because as I'm plotting my graph, if them ask me to plot the graph, I would have probably recognized, say, there's something off. But all right, good observation. And then the last one is going to be, oh, sorry, this is 8. So hold on, this is 8. This is what? Sorry, no, so this is wrong. This here is, this is 7. And then this is 8. Uh-huh. All right. And then now 3, f of 3. And that's going to be equal to 3 squared. So it's negative 3 squared. Most of people, something off, you know. Something off. No, so something off, guys. I think I made a mistake, you know. These numbers are not looking so correctly. I think I made a mistake. Hold on. Go again. Principle remains the same, but I think I typed in the numbers incorrectly. Now, if we look at the function here, so now, about this. If you look at the function, it says here, negative, you put the value of x and you square it. Oh. So, my mistake. My apologies. So, if we're going to work out f of 3 then, f of minus 3, I'll plug it in just as how we see it. It says we must put the minus sign first, not true? And then we're going to put what? Negative 3 and square it. There's a big difference between that. Plus negative 3 plus 7. So, you have to be careful. Right? It's not negative x all squared. It's negative squared x value. This thing is not in a bracket right here. So you have to be careful. All right? Now we have to square the 3 first. So do not go ahead and say negative times negative is positive. You'll get it wrong. Because remember, say PEMDAS says that you have to do exponent before you do multiplication. So you cannot multiply before you square. So this is going to end up being minus 9. Because when you square negative 3, you'll get positive 9. But the minus is still there. So that's minus 9 minus 3 plus 7. So that's minus 12 plus 7. That's minus 5. All right. For those of you, just in case you guys think I'm making a mistake, you have to remember that when I'm looking at a paper for the first time, just as how it appears to you, so it appears to me. It's just that my experience allows me to work out the question faster. So the mistakes that I'm making, these are genuine mistakes that would be made by anybody, right? Because I'm looking at the question, and if the numbers are not coming out how I want them to come out, I know I'm making a mistake, so I just find my correction. All right? So this is natural. F of 1. So I'm going to have the negative first. Then I'm going to have the 1 and I'm going to square it. I'm going to have to put the 1 in the bracket. If you want to put in the bracket, you can. So that's 1 squared. Oh, where did I put the minus 5? Oh, the minus 5 is supposed to go here. And then I'm going to erase this now. So I'm going to put minus 1 here so instead. Okay. So we'll put the minus first, open bracket, minus 1, square that. And then we're going to end up with plus negative 1 plus 7. So when we square negative 1, we will get 1, but the minus is still there, so that's minus 1. And when plus meets negative, I get negative 1 again, plus 7. So this works out nicely to be minus 2 plus 7, which works out to be positive 5 instead. We're going to work out f of 1 now. So f of 1 now is going to be negative, and we're going to square the 1. Now I don't have to put the 1 in a bracket because it's just a positive number. Because a negative number, I have to put it in the bracket. Plus 1, because x is 1 now, plus 7. So negative 1, so this is going to be negative 1 again, because when you square 1, if you type this on the calculator, it's going to tell you negative 1 plus 1, and that is plus 7. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So that's 7 right here. And then now we're going to work out f of 3. That's going to work out to be negative first, square the 3, plus 3 plus 7. So this is going to be negative 9 because it's not all squared. It's just a 3 that's squared, that you get 9 and the minus is still there. Plus 3 plus 7. So negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6 plus 7. And that works out nicely to be 1. So if these numbers are right, I should come up with a nice graph. All right? Any questions on that? Any questions?
No, sir.
Everybody sound like them Gucci there.
No, sir.
Sweet. Yeah, man. We have come to the end of the class. We can hear like you're not tired. Just like me. But we have push it. We have 7 more of these for doing so. If you start get tired after 1, and not start tired yet. All right. Now, what are they saying? They say on the grid below, you have to draw the graph of this thing with them just give you earlier. So don't make this throw you off. At the same thing them give you up there, so. And don't make this throw you off neither. This minus 3 something where you see here, so it's called a domain. Basically, they want you to plot these numbers here. That them I try to say, plot them. So we're gonna go on the graph now and we're gonna plot. So we're gonna plot minus 3, minus 5. So we're gonna take 3 steps to our left and 5 steps up. Work with me. 3 steps to the left, 5 steps up. And I agree, sir, right? I said there. Everybody agree with that?
Sir, minus 3, minus 5.
Oh, Lord Jesus, yes. Thank you again. Like I'm tired more down, you know. Down here, so. Yeah, man. Correct, Miss Gentis. Minus 3, minus 5. Next one. Minus 2, up 1. So minus 2, up 1. Do you agree? Let's agree or
Yes, sir.
disagree.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Minus 1, up 5. Minus 1, up 5. Right, so. Minus 1, up 5. Yeah. We're good to
0,
go.
7.
See, oh, you have it then. Okay. 0,
Yes,
7.
sir.
So 0 is in the center. 7 is right here. So 0,
And then
7 on the
1.
line. Next one.
Positive 1. Positive 7.
Positive 1, positive 7. Right, yes, sir.
Positive 2, positive 5.
Positive 2, positive 5. Right, yes, sir.
Positive 3, positive 1.
Positive 3, positive 1. Right, yes, sir.
Yeah. Positive 4, negative 5.
Positive 4, negative 5.
Positive 4, negative 5, yes.
Right, yes, I'm not sure. So this is kind of a reflection of what we did in our last class. Remember I told you that there's 2 types of functions. BOP. So we have 2. We have the maximum and we have the minimum. So this question, we have the minimum, which is this one, and we have the maximum, which is that one. Here's an example of a maximum. I know why it's maximum, because x squared is what? Negative. We discussed that in the class. So we could have noticed the graph got turned upside down. All right, so let's grab our blue marker, and as best as we can, in a wonderful symbol, you get the idea. All right, and that's our quadratic curve. That's our quadratic function. Nice and beautiful. All right, any questions with that?
No, sir.
All right, it says write down the coordinates of the maximum or the minimum point of the function. So basically what we want to do is that we want to know what is the highest point on the curve here, up here. So now it's a bit difficult, like it's because it depends on how far you carry up your curve, you know. This is really supposed to be like, it's not supposed to be that high, it's supposed to be like somewhere where yes or so. I like so. So I'm gonna guess and I'm gonna say that looking at it, so between here and here, so each of these is 0.2. So 7.2, 7.4, 7.6, 7.88. So my graph is supposed to be at approximately 7.2. So it is as high as 7.2. And it's going to be exactly at a half. Look at this. Look at it there. If we run one line from here, so right between 1 and 0, right as you go right at the maximum point. Right there, so. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna take my guess and I'm gonna say that it's a half on the X and 7.2 on the right, on the Y. 7.2. I'm not sure how you guys would write it down. If you want to, it's 1 mark, so I don't think I really want to go through this 4AC minus B squared. I think I want to do all of that. So what I would just suggest that you do is when you draw the curve, just make a guesstimate as to how high you think it go. But I'm guessing that this is a half. So notice I had to go halfway this way. And then I had to go up 7.2. So I'm going to say 0.5, 7.2. And if you use 4AC minus B, you can do that, guys. You can try use this formula. So the expression is negative x squared plus x plus 7, right? And A is equal to negative 1, B is equal to 1, and C is equal to 7. Use the formula that I gave you in class and tell me if you get 7.2. You should end up getting let me see, 7.2. That's 7 and 2 over 10. So you should get 72 over 10. Or you should end up with 36 over 5. If you guys get 36 over 5, you can do it. If you guys get 36 over 5, let me know here. If you get 36 over 5, then that means I'm correct. All right, so you can use the 4AC formula that we discussed in the last class. 4AC minus B squared over 4A. When you use that, you get 36 over 5, you should be okay. All right, and if you use H to be equal to B over 2A, you should also get negative a half. B over 2A. Yeah, man, you'll get negative a half. You're going to get it. Yeah, man. All right. So good now. So now this is the nice part now. The party part, all of the hard work do. I just have to scrape up the marks and cut. Write down the equation of the axis of symmetry. We discussed this in our last functions relations class. So axis of symmetry equation, can anybody check your notes and tell me if I gave you that formula? I think I did. Might not have reached it, but I think I did. Can anybody confirm it? I think I gave you a formula for axis of symmetry. X equals, I don't think I gave you the formula, but I think,
No,
so here's the formula.
I don't remember that.
All right, so see it here. That's the formula. X equal minus B over 2A. And that means I haven't got there as yet then. So the formula for axis of symmetry is x equal minus b over 2a. All right. So we need to plug in some values now. So x I got equal to, remember now, you know, these are the equation, you know. So this is the a, this is the b, and this is the c. Remember the number them in front. So a is -1, b is 1, and c is 7. So formula is negative b, which is -1, over 2 times a, which is 2 times -1. So that's -1 over -2, which is equal to a half. So the formula is x is equal to a half. That's it. That's the equation of the axis of symmetry. That is where this half thing is coming from, you know, right? So the half something where we have, right? So in between 0 and 1, and the set come from, you know, halfway. So the axis of symmetry equation is x equal minus b over 2a. You're going to see it again still. As long as you're in my regular classes, this is going to come up. X equal minus b over 2a. All right. Here the sweet part. So much more that word. 1. What does it say here? Miss Gentles, read this one for me. Part E.
Which part, sir?
Part E.
E. Oh. Use your graph to find the solutions of the equation.
So it says use your graph.
Yes,
Use your
sir.
graph. So where do we find those answers? Right here, ladies and gentlemen, and right here. Those are the solutions to the equation. That is going to be discussed in the next class. So once you draw your graph accurately, you can use the graph to figure it out. So write this down for me, please. The solution, write this down for me, guys. The solutions to a quadratic function, the solutions to a quadratic function oh my God, them just charged me $30 a while ago. Oh dear. The solutions to a quadratic function can be found. Solutions to a quadratic function can be found at the point where the curve crosses the x-axis. At the point where the curve crosses the x-axis. All right, so when you go back up here, so it crosses the x-axis at. So my curve not so accurate, you know, but I'm gonna guess that it cross. Because if I'm on a graph paper, like it's not computerized, then it's a little easier for me. But I'm gonna guess that this crosses at 2.1. Because in between here, so there's 10 strokes. So if you look carefully here, so you'll see 10 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. See them strokes, eh? So each of those strokes represent 0.1. So if I draw mine accurately, I'm gonna say that it passes -2.2. It's not accurate, so you can see that I miss right here. So you see me miss? So it probably would have come through here, so and go so. So from my graph here, if you guys are doing it, if you had a physical paper, you drew it, you'll probably get -2.2. So answer is going to be -2.2 here. And then on the other side now, they will cross it at, you see, I missed that completely. Some probably would have crossed between here and here. So I'm going to say 3.123. I'm going to say 3.3, negative 3.3. But you need accurate graph to do this. So that's positive 3.3. All right, positive 3.3. So it's not 100% accurate because of my graph. Should have done it a little bit neater though. Okay, all right. Last one here. On the grid on page 24, draw a line through the points -3, -1, and 0, 8. So let's find those positions. I'll get one different color now. Purple. Yeah, purple can work. So we need to draw a straight line through these 2 points here. -3, -1. Let's find that point on our graph. -3, -1. -3, -1. That's all right, also. And then 0, 8. 0 is in the center. 8 is all the way up here. So let me say then we draw one line through here, so. No, so that not draw good at all. Forgive me, guys, I'm on the screen, so the pen. All right, so accurate, but you see, if this was to be drawn accurately, like you had a physical paper and you could use your ruler and set it down, it would basically touch the curve right here. This line is called a tangent, right? It's called a tangent. So it says that you should determine the equation of this line. Determine the equation of this line. Now, anybody remembers what the M stands for in this equation? Can anybody recall? Can dig back somewhere in the brain?
The gradient.
Correct. And what is the gradient formula? Anybody can recall? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Anybody remember that formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we know say x1 are this, x1 is this, and y1 is this, and x2 is that, and y2 is that. So y2, based on what I'm seeing here on screen, is 8, and y1 is -1, and x2 is 0, and x1 is -3. So the gradient here would have been 9 over +3, which would have been 3. So m is 3. So the number we're going to put right here, so the number that we're going to put right there is going to be 3. Anybody can remember what the C stands for? I think I told some students yesterday in the face-to-face. Can you recall? What does C stand for, guys? Nobody remembers? Okay, no worries. We'll remember in time. So the C stands for the y-intercept.
MX plus C.
So it stands for the y-intercept. This basically tells us where the graph crosses the y-axis. So if you go back up here, I will realize that, okay, if you draw it, you can see that it crosses the y-axis at 8. So therefore, this value right here would be 8. So this one is 3, and this one is 8. So the equation is what? Y equals 3x plus 8. That's the equation of that line. Okay? Who in here is Diane Dyer? Somebody in here named Diane Dyer? Seen a name here, Diane Dyer. I don't know. Sasa, you know anybody who's named Diane Dyer? Okay. Diane Dyer. All right, no worries. I'll figure it out. All right, lovely. All right, any questions? So I know this question is a bit new to you, right? Because as I said, anything that you have not been taught as yet, it look a little bit scrappy. But as time progresses, that's why we have a whole entire 7 weeks left. Not just the marathon, but remember, you have regular classes to come to same way. So a lot of these things, you're gonna see them in flesh and bone. All right. All right. Cool then. Lovely. All right. So now, guys, we are at the last question, question 9. And once again, I could end the marathon right here, so you know, because here we are going now. Most of who is in this class, they have not done circuit theorem. So look, we're not gonna do this question, right? Because you guys haven't learned vectors and matrices as yet. So that would just be a showboat, unless no one will do it just for the fun. But I know I can do this question though. So this could be the last question. And if you guys want me to just showboat these questions, I could. So this last question here, this is the bearings, because we just completed bearings the other day, so we know we can do that one. But this one is the topic that's coming up next, circuit theorem. So if I come here and I show you all of this, I'll just be telling you a bunch of stuff in your brain and you're not going to process what I go on. So let me know what I want to do. Do I just do the question that's related to what we have taught already?
Yes,
and
sir.
and then save these questions for another time?
Save the ones for another time when we learn it, because now we not gonna understand so much.
I agree with you.
Let's
Now
do
I
the
go
one that
understand it.
we have done before. No, so it's just gonna be.
All right. Everybody in agreement? Everybody go, Chi, with that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So since we done bearings already, we can do this part, and then part B, I, B, and then that's it. So just this paper, just this page alone, and we're done. All right. Lovely. So last question. Last question. So the diagram below shows a triangular field, LMP, on horizontal ground. LMP on horizontal ground. And you can see the diagram. Now remember, in class, I teach you how to draw this thing. And we show you how to draw it. And I don't like when them do this. I don't like when they draw it for you, because when them draw it for you, them leave out. Can anybody tell me what they're leaving out? What's important to us? What they're leaving out? Start with G. What is it that we do in bearings that helps us to calculate small, tiny angles that are missing? Start with G. Guidelines. So you know how we just go boom and we just say, all right, boom, this a 90. And then this a what? 180. Yeah, them little guidelines, them help us. So they leave it out, and I don't like that. Right? But all right, let us see what they're saying. So them say calculate the value of the angle MLP. Angle MLP. The angle right so them want. Angle MLP. This angle right here. Now, go back to your trig notes, guys. For those who are in my class, go back to your trig notes and go back to cosine rule. Skip to your pages and go back to cosine rule. And I think I gave you 2 scenarios for cosine rule. Read the 2 scenarios that I gave you, and then tell me if any one of those scenarios match this diagram. Anybody can read it out loud.
The cosine rule
Yeah.
must be given two sides and the angle between the two sides.
Or
The
this is another scenario. Scenario number 2.
the purpose.
Come on, the first one you get two sides and the angle between A and B, and you have the angle. There's another scenario there. Check it. Sure, it's there. When you come to this topic, I don't really miss enough. Where are my online students? And all in there, Hansen and Zahenia. I'm gonna beat you up. There's another scenario, man. I'm sure I didn't miss it out. I usually don't. If I did, I'll be very surprised. As I give you two scenarios.
It says C can either be the unknown side or C that faces the side of the unknown angle.
Next scenario, did one. If you want me to pull it up on YouTube now, I'll show you, you know. Check. Good. You sure? All right. You want me to pull it up on YouTube and show you?
Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right. No problem. Let's go back to my. Let's pull it up on YouTube. All right. I'm sure I'm going to give it to you. No, so not this. Apex. Csec. All right. So this is my page. And I'm going on my page, right? And I'm going to go to the page that says, I'm going to go to videos. Let's go back to cosine and sine rule. These are my college videos, so don't pay them no mind. You guys can't see them. From my end, you can see them.
That would be March 9.
March 9, okay. But I pay attention to them videos. You guys can't see them from here. Sure, we see them, man. Or recently we do it, you know. Enlargement, determinant, okay. Functions, relation, trigonometry for Csec. This is bearings, completing the square. It must be this video. Hold on. Might be this. It worked. 3 marks.
So that's March 11. It's March
to
9.
be 14 points. This is March 11?
Yeah, it's
Dear
March
purpose. 9. So must be the video before this then.
Yes. Gotta be.
Introduction to functions and relations. And it's a triggeration, not sure. So did I not upload that video?
Yes, you did. I think so.
So I must March 9. This I must hit this here. At A. So Pythagoras theorem. Find X. So trig ratio.
You know, I click the shift button.
Okay, so that's that. Might be the video before that.
You didn't just find it?
No, so that
March
one was
9
just
one?
yeah, that looked like it was I don't know what go on still, but all right. Let us see. No worries. But I'm sure I taught it. If the gentle's not happy, I don't know what go on then. And no worries. Anyways, so one of the rules for cosine, let me just sketch about this diagram again. So for cosine rule, here are the two diagrams then. You must either use what? You must either be given two sides and the angle between, or you must be given all three sides to find an angle, where C is the unknown side or the side facing the unknown angle. All right, so in this scenario here, we're given 3 sides. And we're looking for the angle right here. I'm going to call up here. Let's go back to the front of the paper, the exam paper. So far, only one formula they make we use. So now we're going to use this formula up here. Hold on. Going back for it. I'm going to have to show you set dead end. See it here? Cosine rule. You see it? Right, that's all. In this difference, I put c squared at the front. So it don't make a difference. It's just what I use as the unknown. All right. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Right, so the same formula. So you can use this formula now to find, an unknown angle when you get a triangle with all 3 sides given. You can review it, man, I'm sure. Maybe I miss it. Because when I'm teaching cosine rule, I know that there's 2 scenarios, so usually I don't miss out. So you might check it and be like, oh, Jesus, I forgot to write it down, Mr. Peart. But it's there. Confident that it's there. All right, so here we go. So what's the cosine rule? The cosine rule is c squared is equal to, so the formula is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times the cosine of the angle. All right. Now, a, b, and c is important. What you choose for c will determine which angle you find. So like Ms. Gentle was saying earlier, that c is the unknown side, which in this case, there is no unknown side. But c is also the side that is facing the angle you're trying to find. So in this case, c is going to be 180 squared. A is going to be any one of them, 150 squared plus 120 squared minus 2 times 180, 2 times 150 times 120 times the cosine of the angle that we're trying to find. All right, so help me with some calculators now, guys. 180 squared is how much? Should be 32,400, but double check it, please. Or is it 3,400?
32,400.
32,400. What is 150 squared? That should be 22,500. Just confirm it.
Yes, sir.
And then 120 squared should be 14,400.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead now and multiply 2 times 150 times 120. My math is telling me that this is 36,000. I'm not using a calculator, I'm just guessing. Confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and add these 2 numbers for me now. That's 32,400 is equal to, my math is telling me 36,500. Confirm? 22,500. Oh, sorry, this is 36,900. Confirm it, please. Just one confirmation. I think it's right, but
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
good. All right, now, as based on the energy that I'm getting from this question, maybe you guys know the revision on this here, but remember, now I can't say remember I told you, because obviously you probably don't remember the question at all. But here you cannot subtract these two numbers, right? Because the
So we
36,000,
have to do the 36, the other part first. We have to
you have
find the
you have to transpose.
36 times the, before.
Mm-hmm.
So 36,000 times the cosine.
No. You have to
No, we have to carry it over, transpose. Yes.
carry over the 36,900. Right.
Yes.
Right. So carry over this over here, you'll get 32,400 minus 36,900. Carry that over there, equals to negative 36,000 cos theta. All right. Subtract those two now.
I think it's 4,500.
Negative 4,500.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And that's equal to negative 36,000 cos theta. No, we need cos theta. So we have to divide by this number. So negative 4,500 divided by negative 36,000. That's equal to cos theta. All right, so if this topic is new, you need to revise, run back through your cosine and sine rule, because they're at section 2 of the paper now. This is where students start to lose the marks them now. So, you have settling right now, coming to the end of the paper. How much you got for this? Is it 0.125? $4,500. How much you got?
It's worth 4,500 divided by 3,600.
36,000.
36,000. Okay.
Wanna get the answer, guys?
Negative 1.25.
No, remember I said negative 4,500 now divided by negative 36,000. You should get
Oh.
positive 0.125.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
theta
sir.
then is equal to cos inverse. Remember how you get cos inverse? You press shift, you press cos, you press shift, then you press cos. And then you press 0.125. So you should get the angle. So you press shift, that's the button to the top left, press cos, and you punch in the number. So therefore you should get theta is equal to
82.81.
how much?
82.81.
82.81. So 83 degrees, round it up. 83 degrees. So this angle right here is 83. All right, so now if you just run back through them little thing here, when you come to section 2, you have to make sure you run back through your formulas, when and where you use it. Let me say the tutorials out there. So any little one topic where see a book shuffle upon, like you're confused about cosine rule, just watch back the cosine section and you don't have to watch the whole class. Just fast forward up to the cosine section and just run back through it again and make some little jottings and some little notes. Right? You don't have to watch the whole entire video. You just want to remind yourself of how the cosine rule is used. Just fast forward up to where we start talking about cosine, watch where the explanation be, make a notes, and then jump off of the video. You don't have to watch the whole entire 1.5 hour class. All right, so that is it. So that's 3 marks there. All right. Down here now, them say the bearing of P from L. So we spoke about this last class. The bearing of P from L. So we want to know where is P, but we have to measure it from L. So you need a north line at L, which there's a north line already. So P from L. Erase this here and write it better. So P from L. So we want to know where is this point, but we have to measure it from L. A bearing is measured in a what? A clockwise direction. So we want all of that bearing here, right? So come round so. All of that we want, all of that angle. We already know 83 out of it already. We already know 83. So we need to know this rest outside here, so. So how we gonna find that now? All right. Oh, but hold on, they give us something, man. Them say the bearing of P from L is 210. Oh, so the whole of this are 210. Oh, me I misinterpret, man. So they're telling us that all of this come right around here, so 210. Okay. Come here, I want to say, how them ask us to find this? So all of that is 210. What are they then asking us now? Them after you asking something else. So them say the bearing of P from L is 210. Your job now is to find the bearing of M from L. So they say that P is located on a bearing of 210 from L. So the whole of this thing here, I'm going to put it in a red. The whole of this thing right here, so, is 210. Right around here, so, 210. But they want to know what is M. They want to know where is M, but you have to measure it from L. So we need to find out what is this distance from that distance right here. That easy. There's just 210 take away 83. Because all of it is 210, you know. And inside of it, there is 83. And that's only worth 1 mark. So it's basically 210 minus 83 degrees. How much you got for that?
127.
127? 127 degrees. All right. 127, right? Oh, yeah, right. 127 degrees, yeah. All right, and then the last one now, ladies and gentlemen, before we close off today, them say must calculate how much marks you were. 2. Calculate the value of angle NLP. Calculate the angle NLP. So this angle is located at L. NLP. Where that angle there? N. Where N there? This is N up here, so LP. NLP. Hold on. N them say. So the N have to stand for naught, because there's no other N there. So calculate the angle NLP. See N up here, so this is N right here, so NLP. Then we want to find this angle over here, so. So the total angle around a circle is 360, not true? The total angle around the circle is 360, and you already have 210 out of it. So we know say angle NLP has to be 360 minus 210. How much is that?
150.
150. So basically this angle right here, so what I'm talking about is 150 degrees. So what them also must find now? Them say hence now, as a result of that, we must find the bearing of L from P. So we want to know where is L, but we have to measure it from P. So we have to have a north line at P. So we want the angle right there, sir. So we want to know where is L, but it has to be measured from P. So there's something known as co-interior angles. And co-interior angles are formed when 2 north lines are parallel to each other. So this angle and this angle has to add up to 180. So whatever this angle be, this angle is going to be that plus 150. So therefore, so you can say therefore, this thing right here, find the bearing of L from P. So L from P is going to be equal to 180 minus 150, which is equal to 30 degrees. Right, and that's it. Okay. So, some work to be done, right? Because I can pick up an energy that this is not one of anybody's favorite topic, but that is why we're going to the exam with a strategy, because not a lot of persons, trig is not a lot of persons' favorite topic, but you know, if you can scrape up on one couple marks here and there, you should be good to go. All right, but we're gonna have lots of practice on them, so no worries. All right, guys, but this is it. Based on what we have taught so far in the syllabus, we have another month of teaching left. But based on what we have been taught, these questions will be just like a showboat questions right now. And doing them would be just chaotic right now, too chaotic. Right, would have almost destroy all the work that we would have done. So we're gonna close out the class for today. Right? Close out the class for today. And of course, as per usual, the package persons are going to be back here next week, Sunday, along with potentially some new people. All right, but with that said, guys, have yourselves a productive, peaceful, and prosperous one. Get some rest, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. That's online students and other face-to-face students. I'll see you during the week. Okay? Be blessed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, sir.
All right. All right, Miss Empress, take care. Sasa, take care. Tiola, bye. Jadia, I will not talk to me today, but it's all right.
Bye, sir.